gorgeous people. This is Amber's DIY and other stuff. My name is Amber Meeks, and in today's video, I have 5 more dollar store Christmas DIYs. Guys, when I'm shopping in these dollar stores, I see so many things that I like, and when I'm looking at the stuff, I'm like, oh, this is broke, that's broke. I'm a DIYer. I can fix it, and I'm going to show you guys how you can do that too. So without further ado, let's jump into this thing. Okay guys, for this first DIY, we're going to use 3 different sizes of the snowball decor that I got from the Dollar Tree. When I saw these, I was so super excited, and of course, the first thing that popped into my head was, you guessed it, a snowman. So we're going to take one out of each package of each size, and then we're just going to take the hot glue gun, and we're going to glue each of those together. Pretty simple so far, right guys? I mean, you could use this as an ornament or you can use this on a tiered tray. I just thought that this would be a quick, easy DIY that almost anyone is able to do. So after I got my little balls glued together, I have these super cute little ornaments that I got from Walmart. They're these tiny little snowman hats. They are the perfect size for this DIY. So I just popped off the little clip that you would use to put on your tree, and then I tried to get some of the glue off of there just so that it wasn't bulky and crazy. So then I just put a little dot of glue on the top part of his head and slapped the hat on there. So I noticed as I was doing that he wouldn't stand up. So I'm going to go ahead and take this old ribbon spool and just take the bottom off of the ribbon spool, and I'm going to use that to stabilize him so that he stands up on his own. So I'm just going to go ahead and slap some glue on that ribbon spool piece there, and then I'm just going to put the snowman on top of that, and voila, we have the perfect solution to stabilize him, and I didn't have to pay a dime for it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off all that excess because I don't want to see that on there, and after that is done, he is stabilized and ready for the next step. So the next thing I'm going to do is take some random pieces of decor stuff that I had in my stash, and I'm going to use those to decorate his hat. And as I clipped them both off, literally both of them flew off the table. I was like, awesome. So I had to stop, go get the stuff, and then come back. So I'm just going to go ahead and arrange this the way that I like it, and you guys can do the same. So I'm just going to slap this little greenery piece on there. Then I'm going to take this little flower piece that I have here with the red, and I'm going to go ahead and put that on top of the greenery piece, and then I'm going to put the pine cone in between all of that and call it a day. I think that he's decorated up enough, and all of this was stuff that I had lying around my house. Okay, so next I'm going to go ahead and do a scarf, and I'm going to use this buffalo check ribbon that I got from Walmart, I believe. It was like $1.98 or something like that. I can't remember. Nonetheless, that's what we're going to use, and I'm going to go ahead and stick like a little dot of glue where those 2 ends meet, I guess you can say, to form the scarf, and then I'm going to stick another dot of glue on top of that, and then I'm going to make sure that everything is in place and even, and I think I see that one side's a little longer than the other, so I go ahead and fix that, and then just put the little slits to make it look more like a scarf. So next we're going to work on his face, and I'm going to use that puffy paint like I did for many of my other snowman DIYs. So I'm just going to go ahead and use that for the eyes, the mouth, and then the 2 dots for his buttons on his body. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab an orange puffy paint that I'm going to go ahead and use for the carrot nose. After I put the little carrot nose, this guy is ready to roll. He is perfect for a tiered tray, all kinds of things you can put him in, and here he is. Woo! Now if you guys wanted to, you can go ahead and add a string to his hat so that you can hang him off of a tree. He's definitely light enough that you can do that, but I plan on putting him in a display, so I'm just going to leave mine like this. Okay, for this next DIY, I have this gnome that is so incredibly cute that I got at Family Dollar, but it's like you can see all the plastic stuff underneath. I mean, it was only $1, but it's coming apart. I'm not happy with it. So I'm going to go ahead and fix all of this situation, but first I wanted to take that pom-pom off of the top because I wanted to use that for another DIY. I'm just going to leave the tinsel on there, and I'm going to use the Santa hat that I got at Walmart. It was like clearanced at the very end of the season. I got it for like 90% off. I think it was like 20 cents or something crazy like that. I bought a whole bunch of them. So now I'm trying to find where the nose is, and then I'm just going to cut a little slit with my scissors where the nose is at because I know that's where I need to cut this hat so that it will fit him properly. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this hat down to size, and after I do that, I'm going to try it back on him to make sure that it fits, and hopefully it does. I realized that there was a tag on the inside, and I was like, okay, I better cut that off because it's just going to be in my way. I put it on him. It looks like it's going to work out perfectly, but I did notice that I didn't cut straight like at all, and I rarely do, guys, but I kind of got to fix this because it looks really bad. So I'm going to go ahead and straighten out that side right there that looked like it was a little bit off. Well, it was a little bit off. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the white part back onto the bottom of the hat, but I don't need this really large white piece. So I'm going to cut it down to size so that's really thin, like the one that's already on his head. I think that that looks really nice. Now I did consider using the one that was already on there, but the problem with that is it doesn't wrap all the way around, and I wanted mine to wrap all the way around because I had considered like maybe not hanging this on a wall and maybe doing something else with it, but nonetheless, you could use the one that's on his hat already and just totally skip this step that I'm doing and save the white bottom part of the hat for something else. So after I did that, I'm going to go ahead and fold it down so that there's no raw edge, and I'm just going to glue it down so that you can just see fluffiness and no raw edge at the top of it. And I'm going to do that all the way down to the end of this little strand that I've already cut here. So now that I have all that done, I'm ready to attach it to the hat. So I'm just going to take some more hot glue, put a little, bit on there and slap it on. That's pretty much it, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and do that all the way around the hat. And then when I get to the very edges, I just tuck it under and fold it under so that it looks like you can't see a seam, so to speak. So now that that's all done, I'm going to go ahead and slap it on top of his head and we're ready to get it attached, guys. That's going to be it for this DIY. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I glue it underneath the plastic part that was showing before where it was really poorly made, and that was the whole reason why we did all of this in the first place. So I'm just making sure to glue underneath that with the hat to make sure that it's all covered up and you can't see any of that stuff and it doesn't look super cheap, and instead looks really super cute. So I'm going all the way around to the other side, and when I get to the nose, what I want to show you guys here is that I kind of scrunch it up and then glue it up over the nose so that you can see it. After I do all of that, he's ready to roll, and here he is! Woo! He would look so great in a wreath, wouldn't he? I just put the greenery just to be a little bit more festive. I'm starting to pull my Christmas stuff out, but I think that this looks adorable now. I don't have to do anything else to it. It is ready to roll, and this was a super quick, easy, affordable fix. For this next DIY, I'm going to take these adorable treat sacks that I found at the Dollar Tree and Family Dollar, and we are going to use those as decor instead of treat sacks. So what I'm going to do is go ahead, pop the package open here. I'm going to take these rocks that you can get they're like decorative rocks. You can get them at the Dollar Tree or just about anywhere. I'm going to put some of those in the bottom of the sack so that it stabilizes it so that it stands upright. Then I'm going to add some plastic bags just to fill the rest of the bag together. And then after I do that, I'm going to tie it shut. Now you could stop here and just, tie it shut and call it a day. And these make great fillers for various different things, which is what I plan to do with these. But it's Christmas time. I want to beef these up a little bit more than that. So I'm going to take some ribbon and I'm going to add a bow to the top of it just to make it look a little bit nicer. Now I did this exact same DIY for my Halloween decor, and these were great fillers. I think they're awesome to fill in spaces where you have all of the gaps. So that's why I did it this way. After I did all that with the bow here, I'm just going to wrap the little twine around it and tie it into place. And I did decide that I was going to secure the bow to the sack by tying it on rather than gluing it, because I do want the option to be able to use these sacks for actual treat bags if I want to do that. So I didn't want to ruin it by adding hot glue. So that's why I tied the bow to the top of the sack as opposed to gluing it. So after I tie everything back into place, I'm going to add an embellishment. I found this super cute table scatter at the Dollar Tree. I bought several bags because I do have some plans for specific pieces in this table scatter set. But I'm going to go ahead and grab the star and I'm going to put that in the center of this one. I thought it looked pretty. And after that, it's done. I add bows and decor to the rest of them. And here they are. Woo! Guys, these are so incredibly cute and they are adorable fillers for any space in your house, a tiered tray, wherever it is that you need a pop of Christmas. I think that these look great. I love it. And you know what, guys? There are several other uses for these, and I think I might show you some more DIYs with these in the future, but this is my first one for these sacks. Okay, guys, for this next DIY, I found this incredibly adorable Days Till Christmas sign. It was only $3 at Dollar General. The problem is the wreath is like falling apart. I mean, there weren't any berries on it, and I looked at them all. They were all like that. So what I'm going to do is pull off the existing berries that are already on this, and we're going to go ahead and add some more berries to it and make it secure so that they actually stay in place. So I'm just going to take this random piece of holly that I have from past Christmas decor, or maybe somebody gave it to me. Who knows, guys? All I know is that I have it, and it's going to work perfect for this DIY because it has the 2 different shades of red. So I'm just going to go ahead and take these little berries, and I'm going to plop those into place, making sure to cover up any spots where there was glue and stuff like that from the previous berries. So I just think that this is going to look 1,000 times better and beef this little sign up. After I do that, I'm going to go ahead and add some white paint to it just to give it that snowy flocked look, because I think that that looks better, and that's totally my style. So I'm just going to go ahead and dab some white paint all over this, and after I do that, I look at it, I'm like, it still needs something else. So I decided that I was going to go ahead and add a bow to the top of it. So I just bust out my badabra here, make a quick easy bow, and you guys do not need a badabra to make this bow by any stretch of anyone's imagination. I will have another bow video coming up very soon showing you guys different tips and tricks for making bows. After I made the bow, I'm going to go ahead and glue it to the top of the sign here, guys. And what I don't show you is that the hot glue didn't seem to work, so I did have to use some super glue in addition to the hot glue. After I did that, I'm going to go ahead and take some more holly and the berries, add it as an embellishment in the center because it matches the whole theme of this sign where they have the little holly on each side that's been painted on. So I thought that that would be an adorable touch to add in the center of this. Once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and add the berries in the center. Then this DIY is done, and here it is. Oh my gosh, you guys, this thing is so incredibly adorable. I am so happy that I found this sign. It was a reasonable price, and it took very few things for me to beef it up to make it look nicer than it was when I bought it. I love it. Okay, guys, for this last DIY, you're going to need a couple of the Dollar Tree Christmas trees. Then you're going to need something like, you need 2 of them. I have 2 small vases here that I got for 50 cents at Joann Fabrics. Then you're going to need a Santa hat, 1 ornament, and some black felt. Those are the main ingredients, but you're going to need some other stuff too, but let's go ahead and get started. So I have this little stocking that I was going to use as my template, but I realized the vases don't fit in the stocking. So I'm still going to use it as my template, but I'm going to make sure to make it wider to assure that the vase will fit into these little boots. So we're trying to make little boots for our gnome here, and I'm just kind of tracing this out, trying to figure out what will be the best width for this to make this work. So after I figure out what I think I need, I'm going to go ahead and start cutting away. You guys can't see the outline, but I can definitely see it. Marker is a great thing to use for this because you can see it, but it doesn't leave a really distinct mark on the fabric. Okay, so now that I've decided that that's going to work, I'm going to go ahead and use this as my template to cut out 3 more pieces of black felt. Okay, so now that I have all of my pieces cut, I'm going to go ahead and just glue 2 of the pieces together. There is no right and wrong side with the felt. It all looks the same, so I'm just going to go ahead and glue each of the pieces together. Obviously, leaving the top part of the boot open because that is going to be the part where we're going to insert the vases. So I'm just gluing around all the edges, leaving the part open so that we can insert the vase. Okay, now that everything's glued and dried together, I've already flipped that one right side out, but I'm going to go ahead and flip this one right side out as well. Now this part's a little tedious. You got to keep pushing and making sure that you got all of the points in place. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm fighting with it, trying to make it work, but trust me guys, it's worth it. All right, so after I do all of that, I need to add something to the very front of the boot where the vase is not going to be because I want it to look like somebody's feet are in there. So I decided to add a plastic bag to the very front part of what is going to be our boots. And I do that with the other one as well. I'm just gonna go ahead and shove that plastic bag in just to the very front part of what's going to be our boots. So now that I have that done, I'm going to take the vase, I'm going to slap it in there. And the reason why I'm going to show you guys this part in full is because when I put it in initially and pushed it down, some of the bag was like stuck underneath the vase. So this wouldn't stand up straight at all. So when I realized that was what my problem was, I pulled the vase out and I pushed the bag all the way up and under and make sure that there's no bag, no obstruction whatsoever so that your foot, I guess you can say, can stand up straight and you won't have any problems. I fought with it for a little while, but I eventually made it work. Okay, so now that I have all that done, I need to insert some foam into the inside of the vase so we have somewhere to put our trees. So all I'm doing here is trying to figure out how much of this foam I need. Once I kind of sort of figure out, I'd like mark it with my nail. And then I'm going to take my heat wand here and I'm just going to cut the styrofoam out. Now, if you guys don't have a heat wand, a knife will work just as good. You don't have to have a heat wand for this. It's just a lot less messier if you have one, and they are very inexpensive just about anywhere. Walmart, Amazon, places like that. So obviously I still had it a little bit too big, so I just shaved a little bit more off and then it went right down into there. So I was trying to pull it back out a little bit and I thought that I was just going to cut off the rest with the heat wand, and then it just kind of popped off and I was like, okay, then I guess that's the way it's going to be. So I took what was left and I just shoved it into the other boot, but I was like, man, I wish I had a little bit more styrofoam in the boot where it broke off. So I take that scrap piece from where I cut it too big and shoved it in there. Gosh, I should refilm this again, but I'm not going to. Okay, so here's the Dollar Tree tree, and I'm just showing you here that you don't need the parts that come with it. Just take those off and pull it apart and put those somewhere else and use them for another DIY. So then you're just going to go ahead and shove your tree into the boots, one in each side. And after I do that, I'm going to go ahead and zip tie these trees together. Now, the reason why you want to put them in the boots before you zip tie them together is because for me, those vases had like a bulky part. So I wanted to make sure that I wasn't tying the zip ties too tight. So that's why I think it's better to go ahead and stick your trees inside the foam and go ahead and zip tie them together. So I'm just going to go ahead and zip tie them at the top, and then I'm going to do the middle, and I end up doing the very bottom as well. And then after I get everything zip tied into place, I go ahead and cut off the excess from the zip ties. Okay, now that I have all that done, I'm just kind of fluffing out the branches here because I am going to go ahead and spray paint this with some cheap white spray paint that I got from Walmart just to give it more of a white snowy look. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the trees out of there and spray paint them white. Once I did that, here they are. I'm going to plop them back into the boots. Now I'm just going to go ahead and take all the branches and put them downward because you're not going to see the top part of this, so that doesn't matter. So just go ahead and put all of those branches downward, and if you want to, you can pluck some of those branches off and add them in as fillers to the bottom part of the tree because it definitely looks a little sparse when I'm done with it. I'm just saying. So I go ahead and slap the Santa hat on top here and to kind of decide where I want it to be. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the ornament. I'm going to pull out the part where you would hang it from the tree. And there's a nice hole there. So you just put a branch into that hole there. And that is the perfect way to attach this to the tree for the nose. I know a lot of people hot glue it into place, but I don't feel that's necessary. So I'm going to leave mine like this. And then I decided, you know what? I want to go ahead and add some lights to this. I think that would add a nice Christmassy element to it. So I'm going to go ahead and string the lights on. Once I get the lights strung into place, this DIY is done. And here it is. Yay! Guys, I think it is so super adorable. I totally love it. And I definitely think I might add some things to the boots. But for now, this is all I had time to do. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching these DIYs. I'm going to go ahead and jump into my final thoughts. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed these DIYs. They were super affordable and very easy to do. I mean, just when I look at things in the store, I think what other people might be thinking when they're looking at it. Like, I love it, but it's broken, or I love it, it's the wrong color. I love it this, I love it that. Just think, guys, it's so easy to make over things with a lot of times with things that you have on hand in your house or things that you can get very inexpensively to make it be what you want it to be. So just when you see something in the store and you really love it, but there's just one thing that's wrong with it, just think to yourself, how can I fix that? All right, guys, I hope that you guys found some inspiration from these DIYs. Now, jumping into the next few weeks, I'm going to be hardcore working on the items that I'm going to be using for my banister and my main Christmas tree. So I'm going to be doing a lot of themed DIY videos because I want to do a Charlie Brown theme on my Christmas tree, and then I want to do a Rudolph theme on my banister. So I hope that you guys will find those interesting, and I hope you guys love those animated awesome cartoons as much as I do. So look forward to those DIYs coming up very soon. That's all I got for you guys this time, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye! This is Amber's DIY and other stuff. My name is Amber Meeks, and in today's video I have some more How many do I have? In today's video, I have 5 more super easy, affordable Christmas DIYs. So what? What are you gonna say? My name is Amber Meeks, and in today's video, I have 5 more affordable... What? Hold on. Okay, guys, so I hope you enjoyed these DIYs. Like I said, they were super easy. Ugh, yeah.